How do you scale e-commerce brands with YouTube ads? Well, we have several clients that are absolutely crushing it with YouTube ads right now. For example, this e-commerce brand, we spent $45,000 over the last 7 days at a 1.29x ROAS, 1,000 new customers, 59K in conversion value, 1.19x new customer ROAS, $44.65 CPA, and we basically got paid 5.4K to acquire 1,000 new customers, and that's first order profitable. This is a CPG supplement brand. Their LTV is absolutely crazy. Not only do we make 5K on the front end by acquiring 1,000 new customers, but due to the CAC to LTV ratio, those customers are worth so much more to us than what we paid. And you may also be thinking, I need some conversion data in my account before I start running YouTube ads. You can't just run it off rip. No, we started with this brand on August 26th. We tested some of the creators that they had on that were winning on Meta. These two in the red box won. Their KPI cost per conversion is 46. This is at 43. This is at 37. And we also got a whole bunch of view through conversions, which I'll tell you why that's significant later on in the video. But despite this, I still get asked how to scale e-commerce brands with YouTube ads, because most brands know that YouTube has infinite scale, but think it's too complicated either because they, one, don't know how to scale with YouTube ads, so they just don't know who can do it, or two, the agency or media buyer that they're working with are, quite frankly, and just being completely honest from what I've seen in audits, too pussy to even try. They might know that YouTube ads is a thing, but it's like, oh, it doesn't work for e-com, or you need fancy production and that type of stuff. As I'll show you over this whole video of how to scale your e-commerce brand with YouTube ads, I show you the exact creatives that we're using, and they're not high production. I show you the landing page which we're using, which is basically the same one that you're running now on Meta. I show you the types of placements that you have. I show you all of the creative types. I show you the metrics and KPIs that you need to follow. I show you how to scale these campaigns. I show you why YouTube ads is really relevant. And that's what I'm going to cover in this video. Why YouTube ads is for e-commerce is one of the best ways to scale your e-commerce brand, and exactly how to scale your e-commerce brand with YouTube ads. Plus, as I said at the end, we'll go through the $8,000 a day ad spend case study where we get 1,000 new customers a week through this funnel where we get paid to acquire 1,000 customers per week. So if you want that for your e-commerce brand, keep watching to the end because I'll cover that case study there. But first things first, you want to understand why you should even launch YouTube ads to scale your brand to thousands of new customers per week. The first thing is that you get to scale past search volume. So the intention with Google ads is to get as many new customers as possible who are already in market or already searching for the product aware terms or the problem aware terms that are surrounding your product or the problem that your product solves. However, these are all capped by the amount of people who are actively searching for that search term every single month. So you may only have 100,000 searches across all of the different terms that you could be going for. And that caps you on the amount that you can spend. And if more competitors are coming into that market, which means you're going to be paying higher CPCs, higher CPMs, it's going to be harder to make more profit for that. And the natural CAC that Google wants to charge you to acquire a customer through those channels, either through search or through shopping, it's going to be really hard. It's going to get more and more competitive as the demand for those search terms basically stays the same. Your costs are going to be even higher for that. So what YouTube allows you to do is scale past the search volume. With traditional Google ads, you're only serving to people who are in consideration or conversion. However, with top of funnel YouTube ads, you are getting people who aren't necessarily aware of your product, but they do have the problem that you do solve. Or you can even hit unaware segments where you have an opportunity to generate interest and generate demand in them, educate them on you being the solution to the problem that you educated them on them having. And then you're able to get them before they were even in market to go on your search ads, go on your shopping ads, go on your display ads. So what this allows you to do is, whilst all your competitors are going on Meta and doing Meta ads, your brand is advertising both on Meta, yes, but you're taking those Meta winners and putting them on YouTube. So it allows you to scale past your search volume. The next thing it allows you to do is that it allows you to reuse your creatives. So you can take all your Meta winners and you can just put them on YouTube, YouTube in-stream, YouTube Shorts, and particularly with YouTube Shorts, you can find winners very quickly in terms of creatives ad spend, which gets you back a return, which is at your new customer ROAS or new customer CPA KPI. So you're basically finding new customers who weren't on Meta, weren't on Instagram, weren't on Facebook, they were on YouTube, and you're just acquiring more customers. So you're able to scale your creatives and scale your brand whilst not putting any additional money into Meta, which if you were to put that money into Meta might actually make it unprofitable for you. So you're able to duplicate your creatives and duplicate your funnels onto YouTube, meaning that your ad spends could be way more efficient, your marketing is going to be way more efficient, and you're tapping into a whole blue ocean of new customers. The next thing is CPM arbitrage. YouTube ad CPMs are incredibly low. So again, whilst your competitors are competing over all the high CPM Meta stuff, your brand is getting really cheap CPMs, really cheap CPCs, and a high amount of volume through placements which no one's actually advertising on. It's a completely blue ocean, which means the CPMs are really low, and the supply demand curve in terms of the amount of advertisers advertising for that particular placement, that particular problem, solution, CTA type, that particular product is really low on YouTube compared to everyone who's advertising for that particular outcome and solution on Meta, because it's older, people aren't sophisticated on YouTube, they don't know how to run YouTube, they're too pussy to run on YouTube, therefore the CPMs are lower, which means there's a higher opportunity of arbitrage for you to get in here now, which makes it a much more efficient advertising channel for you. Compared to Meta, there is a bigger pool of new customers. So Google is the #1 traffic source on the internet. #2 is YouTube, and Google owns both. So you're tapping into over 2 billion monthly logged in users every single month in YouTube now. So that's worldwide. But if you're just taking the US, there's like a significant amount of the population who are logged into YouTube who ads are being served to. So there's a whole wide, especially the older demographic as well. And you get both the younger and the older demographic. So you're able to advertise to basically anyone, regardless of your product, regardless of the problem they're facing. If you have success on Meta and you do have a significant brand doing 7 figures a year, 8 figures a year, you can definitely find your customer pool on YouTube as well. But the reason why it's important for YouTube is because these are whole new customers who don't necessarily buy stuff off Facebook, who don't buy stuff off Instagram, but they are on YouTube, they are a sophisticated market, and they are there for the taking. They're also higher value as well. Next is that it gives you a diversified marketing channel for stability and also enterprise value. So if you have multiple different sources that are profitable in terms of acquiring new customers, not only are you more stable, so if your Meta shuts off, you still got your Google, but if you have multiple marketing sources, then if you do ever go to sell your brand, that is more lucrative in terms of increasing the value of your enterprise. So just a thing to think about there. It's important to have multiple different channels for your marketing efficiency, for everything to work in the flywheel. If you don't have that, then your brand is going to be worth less than if you were to have it. Next is that your creatives actually have a longer lifespan. So you may be hitting creative fatigue when you're on Meta. With YouTube, you can use the same creative for up to a year, even up to 2 years. We have ads that we're running now, which I'll show you in the case study later on in the video, that have over 2 million views already, and there's no chance of them slowing down anytime soon. We've seen YouTube ads at like 100 mil views and just absolutely printing over profiting. So the scale is absolutely immense, especially for the lifespan of creative. So there's actually less creative output that's necessary once you find a winner in terms of YouTube. Once you find it and it works, it will work for a very long time. What you then get to do, as well as scaling past search volume, is you get to add search volume to already existing terms. So you get people who wouldn't have necessarily searched for the product or the problem that you're facing, but now it's in their head, and now that you've educated on that, then they're going to go to Google to search for that problem because you're running search ads, or because you're running shopping ads off the back of, in the middle of funnel of your YouTube ads. Then they're going to be clicking on your ads as well because of brand recognition, because of increasing the search volume of that, which means the rest of your Google ads, both Meta and Google Search and Google Shopping, are going to be much more efficient. YouTube brings incrementality and uplift for other channels. So even though it's a meme to be like, oh, it's the impressions, it's the brand visibility, there have been incrementality studies done by House where Amazon increases. If you have a good CTA to retail and you're in retail, that also increases, and then your D2C also increases, as well as the conversion on your metas. So running YouTube beyond just the in-dashboard metrics actually has a wider effect in terms of the conversion rate across your whole brand. And the reason why is because YouTube is actually seen as like more legit advertising. If you place on TV or you place on YouTube, because there's a perceived high barrier to entry, if you can crack YouTube and you're advertising on YouTube, then it's like, okay, this is like a serious brand and they are actually advertising something proper. If you have like a proper brand, great brand aesthetic, great brand mission, great product, then it's a no-brainer to advertise on YouTube, because it is just like perceived as more legit advertising, as it were. Imagine if you were like running a TV ad. To advertise on TV, people see that as like a really big barrier to entry. It's no different with running ads on YouTube, because people perceive that as the new TV, but you can also actually run ads on YouTube TV, which makes it even more legit. As I was just saying, you do get the TV reach as well. I think it's over 50% or even 60% of all views on YouTube in the US are done through TV. So if you're not on placement on TV, you're just on mobile, or God forbid, you're just on desktop and tablet, then you're not actually getting half of the views which go on YouTube in the first place, which is TV. We've seen some great success in brand lift in terms of advertising on TV. People don't necessarily buy directly from TV, but they see your ad, then they go search it and buy it later, and that comes through as a view through conversion. Next, competitors aren't there, so you get first mover advantage with actually high leverage. Rare in e-com these days. It's actually rare to find like an arbitrage opportunity which your competitors aren't doing, which you could be doing first, which means that you get a massive moat. Again, for the case study I'm going to show later on in the video, we are 100% the only company for that product which is advertising on YouTube. If you go into the ad library for everyone else, they're either just on search and they're running some really like grey hat, black hat advertorials, or they're just on shopping and they don't even run search at all, which means that off of that particular channel they may be winning, but we're getting so many more new customers loyal to us and acquiring those customers first, because we're able to have the unit economics to advertise on YouTube and the creators as well. So people who are interested in that product, we can get to them first before they go to another competitor. Again, it's very rare in e-com for these days to have a moat like this. The quicker you do this, the better. And then lastly, you actually get to make creatives which are like creative. So if you are like a creative head, you are able to make like really high quality YouTube ads. You really are able to think about making like movie trailers and TVs and high production stuff for your brand, which will actually convert. So if you are actually creative and you do love making ad creative for your brand, then this is a massive opportunity for you to create an even bigger moat, because you're able to create such a beautiful piece of art which is actually direct response and actually gets conversions, and you're able to show it to many more wider people who appreciate that level of advertisement, where people will comment and be like, this is actually a really high produced, well polished, well published ad. You'll get those type of compliments as opposed to like the cheesy AI UGC stuff which you're seeing nowadays. I don't think that really works in YouTube anymore, but we'll get to that in a second. So that's why you should even launch YouTube ads to scale your brand to thousands and new customers per per week anyway. However, you now need to understand where YouTube ads fits into your Google Ads funnel. So this is the Google Ads funnel, which every single e-commerce brand ought to be using to build out. It's a good framework of understanding which campaigns you're running, which ones are working, which ones you aren't running, and where you can get bigger leverage from, and exactly what it looks like on screen. Because it's very easy to say, okay, top of funnel was YouTube, and then you got middle of funnel, Performance Max, and you got some search stuff, and then you got bottom of funnel. Like, you can actually visually see it. So this is the top of funnel, where you get demand gen campaigns, which is where you're running all of your YouTube ads from, and you're running these on YouTube Shorts, YouTube InStream, and if you do have the balls to do it, you have Google Display as well. And then for the middle of funnel, you've got prospecting search, Performance Max, and prospecting shopping, and this is capped by the amount of search volume which is coming in for those terms in the first place, which is why it's the middle of funnel. People think that Performance Max and search is top of funnel. Really, top of funnel is all the demand gen stuff, which generates search volume and generates demand. This is all still capturing demand. And then at the bottom of funnel, you've got your homepage, your product page, your add to cart, dynamic remarketing done through Merchant Center, or if you have a dedicated remarketing campaign. But these are all driven from the bottom of funnel in terms of people who are already aware of your brand through a really efficient branded search and branded shopping campaign. So that's how it all loops and it gets into the sale. At every single point of drop off, they all get hit with dynamic remarketing to bring them back to the homepage, back to the product page. If they abandon cart, they go back to the product page, all towards getting a sale. And just specifically at the demand gen in terms of where YouTube ads fits in, it goes up here in terms of top of funnel. So YouTube Shorts, YouTube InStream, and then it brings them here to a landing page. You can either use your product page, which is really well built out. You can't just use a default one. You need to actually think about how you're running it to it. But you could also use a different conversion mechanism: advertorial, listicle, VSL, quiz funnel. We found all four of these work as long as you test which ones work for your particular brand. So that's where YouTube ads fits into your Google funnel. But there are 3 different types of YouTube ads, and I'm going to tell you which one you should try first. The first type of YouTube ad is a YouTube InStream ad. And this is what you traditionally think of as a YouTube ad. It's when you click on a video, and then before the video starts playing, you have an ad which you can skip. So it's a skippable InStream YouTube ads. These have infinite scale and placements, where you're best set to spend thousands of dollars every single day on these ads. This is where we see the most scale. This is where we see like creators go absolutely hyperbolic scale, and this is where we're scaling to $8,000, $12,000, $16,000 per day on our clients. The next placement is YouTube Shorts. So this is for mobile, but you can also have this on desktop as well. And these are ads that show up in the YouTube Shorts feed. So people are just scrolling shorts like it's Instagram and TikTok. These have really cheap CPMs because no one's really advertising on this placement at the moment. Has lots of volume, so you get a lot of clicks, very cheap, like 1 cent, 2 cent clicks. You get to test a lot of different creatives, and this placement will give you the first signs of wins. So any ads that win on Shorts will probably also win on InStream with a little bit of tweaking, and you're able to test really quickly which creatives do well by putting in a lot of different clicks and a lot of different volume into each creative if you set it up right. And then lastly, you have YouTube InFeed. So these are these ads here which show up on your homepage, or if you do search things up, it's going to be at the top depending on the search term that you put in for YouTube. These here, there's more that you need to get right, and it's not the highest leverage thing to do. It's good if you have mass amount of scale, and there is something which is like a YouTube ad, which is more of like a high production thing, a movie trailer, something which really just pops out there. It's good to scale into, but you do need like a really good thumbnail because it's competing with all the other organic YouTube videos which are in someone's feed, and you need better presentation for it. And you can think of it more like a YouTube video in and of itself. So there's some source here that you can do. If you have like an organic YouTube presence for your brand, or you build up an organic channel for your brand, you can then leverage those as ads in YouTube InFeed. For example, one of our clients, they're going to be buying all of their competitors' product and then testing them, and we probably want to run that as an InFeed ad only with a proper thumbnail posted on the channel as a sponsored post, so that when people are looking on YouTube, they're able to click it, watch like an 8-minute video, which is going to be like a pretty much organic YouTube video, but then it's going to be a CTA at the end. That's how we're going to be running those InFeeds. I wouldn't run like a 2-minute ad as an InFeed. This is probably better for InStream, but if you have like an organic style video, which is a bit longer of a presentation, fits into the feed and fits into the expectation of what people usually click on when they are searching for a longer video to watch, then InFeed is perfectly for you. I would recommend you do Shorts and InStream first, just because of what I was talking about with YouTube InFeed. It requires a lot higher of a production, a lot more thought in terms of how people are going to be arriving at that video, and you can't just click on InFeed and expect your Shorts and your InStream to perform as well. It's a massively radically different placement, which you need to really think about. In fact, these are the only placements you'll be running on YouTube for your e-commerce brand. You don't do Discover, Gmail, or Display Network. You just do on InStream and Shorts. But before you launch your YouTube ads, it's probably a good idea to understand creatives themselves, and there are some core things to get right with creatives. With InStream ads in particular, you have a forced 5-second watch time guaranteed with InStream. Then you have up to around 30 seconds to keep them before it counts as a view. So the best way to think about this is that you have a movie trailer style hook in terms of the length of it. It's 5 seconds. Within that first 5 seconds, you really need to audio hook them, visual hook them, grab their attention, really just gun to their head marketing for a movie trailer rather than an ad, to get them to first to learn more about your product that you're advertising in terms of the demo, in terms of the promise which you're giving to them. And you need to get them from, okay, I'm going to click this video to go watch it. I know I need to skip an ad, so I'm going to be hovering my cursor over the ad skip button. Oh, but now this ad is here. It needs to be that powerful to get them to stop watching the video which they intended to click in the first place, to then click your ad instead and go explore and learn more about your product to ultimately convert. So your requiring a lot of direct response to get them from I'm clicking this video, I'm watching it, to buying your product. They're not browsing in-stream, but they wanted to be entertained or educated. So you need a big style movie trailer to get them to go check out your movie, which is like a product, fix a problem, any sales argument, that type of stuff. And there are a certain amount of creatives which work. The first one, high production talking head. The second one, style of podcast. We use this as a podcast hook. You can also have founder style ads as well, where you're just the founder telling the story. There are story ads as well, which is either told by the customer or the founder. And then you have straight product demos. So those are the 5 creative types that work really well for YouTube. If you have a podcast style creative where it's 2 people talking, that's really native on YouTube. Founder ads are a massive cheat code. Even if you're drop shipping, I would still just get on camera and sell your product, or find someone who you can hire to be like the founder of the brand. High production talking head, 4K camera, really great audio, immensely good editing, actually like put a super effort into it instead of it just being like an AI generated ad with bad captions, even though this one is, but it's authentic because it's from the founder. There's a lot to play with in terms of creative types, but these are like the core 5 that we go with. And in terms of like the ad creative format, so the formula to use for every single ad, the first 5 seconds for YouTube in-stream is completely fixed. Like you can't get rid of that. So this hook needs to be like the strongest hook that you can do. And then over the next 6 to 30 seconds, if they've not skipped it, then they're basically like, okay, for the next 12 seconds or so, you've got like another 5 seconds to intro them to the product or the problem. Then you have a stage of product demo, so you're demonstrating the use of the product and the effects that it has. You then add in social proof near the end, and then you need a strong as fuck CTA, because again, they were already in the mind of either just browsing through shorts and it gets them there, or in in-stream, which is where your hyperscale is going to go to, and how you get above 1% click-through rate on your in-stream ads with high intent for it. You need a strong as fuck CTA for that. And if you want to see ads which do this really well, then we have our entire 8-figure YouTube ad swipe file inside of our free Google Ads course. If you want this, it's the second link in the description. Takes you to a page where you just enter in your email and send it to you absolutely free. As you can see, it's part of our e-commerce Google Ads mastery. If you just get it and then you click on bonus 8-figure e-com YouTube ad swipe file, it gives you all of the different 8-figure brands and their YouTube ads. And these are all really highly converting. These probably like over 1 billion views across all these ads alone. Proven video ad templates and scripts on top performing D2C brands on YouTube. So if you want that and you want to see what a proper YouTube ad looks like, I'll show you the creators that we're running and spending 8K a day on so far later on in the video. But if you just want this now, click on the first link in the description, get access to the free course, the e-commerce Google Ads mastery, put in your email and I'll send it to you. And again, on the front page here, it's right at the bottom of one of these bonuses, 8-figure e-com YouTube ad swipe file. You also get Google Ads basics, keyword research, conversion tracking, copywriting, branded search campaigns, branded shopping campaigns, shopping ads, performance max ads, merchant centered checklist, avoiding GMC suspension, YouTube ads playbook, cold search campaigns, all that type of stuff. First link in the description, put in your email and I'll get it to you absolutely free. So you got your creatives, you understand the type of placements, you understand where it fits into your YouTube ads funnel, you understand why you need to be running YouTube ads, and you've seen that it works. Now I'm going to show you how to set up the campaigns and exactly which buttons to press. So we're in the client Google Ads account right now, and if you just want to make a new demand gen campaign, you click this plus icon here, you click new campaign. Next you click sales, and you want to make sure that it is under purchases. To remove anything else which is under purchases. I did this on purpose to show you how to remove them, and just make sure it's one conversion action which is primary. And when you're selecting campaign type, you want to click demand gen. Click continue. Here I'm just going to show you which buttons to click. You want to name it something which you can see within all this, your campaigns. You want to turn off product feed, never worth running on YouTube, just turn it off. You're going for maximize conversions on this one, conversion goals purchase. You don't want to set a target CPA yet. For budget, you want to start at least $100 a day. Brand guidelines, you can add them in here. You're not running any EU political ads. For location, you want to set the country that you're in, so United States. For this, you always want to define that it's English, because if you're advertising in the US, for example, there's a lot of Spanish speakers, you get a lot of Spanish results. You just want to define it as English. For devices, you want to set target specific devices, and you 100% always want to turn tablets off. However, if you're looking to test really quickly and you want to see which different placements are going to go well, you can keep computers on, or you can keep TV screens on. You just want to monitor the performance by device. However, you really are just starting out, you've only got your meta ads and you only want to just test those, just do mobile only. Pretty much all of your clicks, all of your impressions, all your conversions are going to come from mobile defined already, because you're running on shorts and you're running on in-stream. But as you start to scale, you want to turn on computers, turn on TV screens, run horizontal ads as you scale to make sure that you can test out these placements as we were just talking about. Ad schedule, run all day, no third-party measurement, and campaign URL options. If you're running triple well, you just do this automatically within triple well. So next you click on the ad group, and within ad group you want to click let me choose, and you turn off everything except for YouTube in-stream and YouTube Shorts. You want to get rid of in-feed, get rid of Discover, get rid of Gmail, get rid of Display. For audience, you run no audiences. You run it completely broad. You just let Google do its thing. You let the creative do the targeting. You let your landing page do the targeting. You let your copy do the targeting. You just let Google do its thing. I've never ran audiences. I just keep it completely broad. If you want to test different audiences, that's fine. But we're spending 8K a day with no audience, completely broad, and we're still profitable. So we're just running it, ramming it like that. Optimized targeting, I like turning on if we are hyperscaling. If you're just testing creative, seeing which ones pass policy, because Google's policy is really dire right now, or you're just testing at a lower budget, just turn it off. But if you're scaling, turn it on like a Chad. And then you get into the ads. You want to click video ad. You want to name your ad group. You want to put in your final URL. Never do to your homepage. You want to do it to a product page, a VSL, a listicle, an advertorial, or a quiz funnel. So this is where you do your final URL. For the videos, what you do is that you upload them unlisted to your YouTube ads account. And then you take the video URL and you paste it into this box here, and you can add up to 5. So I got here is in one of the example ads. You just paste it into here. You can only add up to 5 videos per ad group. So if you're testing 5 different concepts, you're seeing which one wins. And then once you've got that one, you can segment it into its own ad group and then hook test based on that and trying to beat the control from there. Now, when you're choosing where your video wants to show, this is basically a preference, but you always turn off in-feed. If your ad is under 60 seconds or it's just about over 60 seconds, you can speed up the ad and you can shift the pitch so the sound doesn't sound off, and you can run it on shorts. If your ad is over 60 seconds, turn off shorts and just run it completely on in-stream. Even if it is 9:16 and it is on mobile, it shows really good. It comes up really well on mobile, even if you're on the mobile app for YouTube. So if you're just on mobile, it doesn't matter if you've got a 9:16. You don't need a horizontal to run YouTube in-stream. You can use the 9:16 and it looks really good on in-stream. But if it is under 60 seconds, turn on shorts. Shorts is going to be really powerful for you as well. You want to get it as close to 60 seconds as possible. Then you add in your logos. For asset optimization, I just turn these off. Get shorter versions will just cut off stuff, and then vertical and square versions of your videos, you just want to run the creatives as is, so always turn those off. For text, you want to add in all your headlines. You get up to 40 characters instead of 30 compared to traditional search ads, so make sure that you're using all 40 of these characters. You get to add up to 5. Same with long headlines, but you get 90 characters, and descriptions, you get 90 characters. CTA, I always do shop now. Business name, put in your business name. Site links, I always turn these off. These always look really bad on YouTube. Then you get to review a campaign and you just press publish campaign, and that's how you set up YouTube ads. Really simple. It's all about turning off the placements you don't want to run, putting in the YouTube videos, segmenting out your ad groups with your ads based on the actual creative type himself. If you find a winner, put it into a winning ad group. Test those with all the hooks as well, and then have it all within one campaign. It's basically like a CBO. So that's all the buttons that you need to press. Now, there are 6 KPIs and metrics that you need to track. It's really easy to understand. I'm going to go through what the ranges are from really good to really bad for all 6 of these. The first one is view rate, which is basically video play to and then view rate. If you can't see them, then in your column, set them up. You can see the thresholds for people who have watched 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100% on these videos. You can also segment them by in-stream and in shorts for video play to. Just a good understanding of how much of the videos people are watching. And then you have view rate, which is in-stream and shorts. KPIs for this, you want around 20% is really, really good for in-stream, and shorts 10% is really, really good. So as you can see on this one here, the bottom testing ones, in aggregate for all the ads in this ad group, 26% view rate, really good. For the top ones here, not necessarily the best, 18.86%, but it's plausible because it's closer to 20 than it is not. Shorts, these are both above KPI in terms of 10%. So for view rate, you want at least 10% for shorts, and then for in-stream, you want 20%, and that's really good. Anything above this, you've got a banger on your hands. Next is CTR. So as you can see, it's here. It's probably one of the default ones that you have. It depends on placement here, so you want to sort by placement. For in-stream, anything above a 1% is really good, but we typically see like 1.3, 1.4. That's really good. 2% is absolutely cracked, and you've got a massive scaler. So out of every 100 people, 2 people are clicking it. Absolutely insane, especially given the price. And then for shorts, anywhere between like 0.6 and 1% is really good. If you're closer to 1% on shorts, then that's absolutely like cracked creative. So just keep an eye out for that in terms of the CTR. So first, you're tracking your view rate in terms of the creative strength, how much people are watching. In terms of a bottleneck, if you're at 10% on shorts and 20% on in-stream, that's pretty good. Now you're seeing the strength of your CTA, so how many people are clicking the ad off of YouTube into your funnel. And again, 0.6 to 1% on shorts, and then 1 to 2% on in-stream is what you're looking for. Then you're looking for conversion rate. Now it looks a bit weird in terms of like 0.11 and that type of stuff. Basically, you're looking for a 0.05 and up % conversion rate for both shorts and in-stream, based on all of the different volume and conversions and that type of stuff as well. Obviously, you can look at conversion rate through the actual funnel itself, but in the dashboard for Google, you're looking at a 0.05% conversion rate as the benchmark standard. Anywhere above that, it's great. Anywhere below that, if it's like a 0.2, 0.3, then there's obviously work to be done in terms of the post-click experience, in terms of the landing page. So this signifies the actual strength of the landing page itself. Now, of course, the holy daddy, the holy grail, new customer CPA, the only metric that actually matters in e-commerce. How much are you paying to acquire a new customer and how much that customer is worth to you? You want to be tracking this religiously within Triple Whale, because Google will just lie to you, even though it's got platform comparable. Overall, on the funnel, this will just tell you exactly what's going on inside of the campaign. So you're scaling off the campaign new customer CPA. Then you can go into the specific ads, but because of ad sequencing, and some ads might be the first show, but then there's another ad which is in your ad group which converts better. You just want to look at new customer CPA. Is it performing? Is it in KPI? Is it out of KPI? And just go from there. Same with new customer ROAS. Are you above break even? Are you not? New customer ROAS could be off, but you could have new customer CPA, which is really good depending on the AOV. Again, there's a lot of different metrics that you need to understand to be able to even start on YouTube in the first place. If you're watching this video and you're already watching this far, then I would assume that you're already very much aware of what your break even new customer CPA is, and you're scaling off that, as well as your break even new customer ROAS based on your unit economics, your COGS, your shipping, fucking everything, and what your LTV is, so you understand your CAC to LTV ratio. I can't give you a KPI on this because this is largely dependent on your own unit economics for your own product and your own business. You just need to find out if this is an actual CAC that you can be willing to tolerate to pay. If it is, great, you can scale into it and you'll find an actual CAC that Google wants to have the price of you acquiring that new customer. If it's great, then you can scale into that and your LTV is great, then congratulations, you built a money printer. If you can't, then you can either work on your own unit economics to make it actually sustainable, you can work on your retention to make your LTV higher, or you can work on the strength of your ad to make the CPA go down. Remember, with CAC to LTV, you can work on lowering CAC, sure, but you can also increase LTV to get the ratio up to the point as well, because sometimes the CPA is the CPA and there's nothing you can really do about it, especially when it's scaling on YouTube. And then you've got view through conversion, which is basically the cherry on top metric to track, which I like to look at. This basically tells you how many people watched your ad, saw your ad, had a view on it, which was above 30 seconds, didn't click it, but then later converted within that view through conversion window, which is on your purchase pixel through enhanced conversions. But this doesn't count people who were converted through another one of your Google campaigns. So they saw the YouTube ad, then they went straight to your website and just converted. Or they went to your YouTube ad and then they went for a meta ad and then converted. These are all the people who this ad helped convert through a view, but not through a click. And this doesn't include all of the conversions which you see on here. So this is basically like extra conversions. If you have really high view through conversion rate and you can see, okay, like the conversion value over cost is 1, right? But you got 700 view through conversions through this campaign. It's basically like an extra 700 conversions at this cost per conversion, which is basically all baked in. So even though in dashboard, it will say that the metrics aren't necessarily that good or they're out of KPI, keep in mind your view through conversions, because this actually could tell you incrementality. But of course, you still want to track with overall new customer CPA. Triple will be able to get all of that for you based on the attribution that you're using. So I can give you rough estimates for view rate, I can give you rough estimates for click-through rate and conversion rate, but for new customer CPA, new customer ROAS, and view-through conversions, this is basically dependent on your business, your unit economics, and just how many people convert after seeing your ad and didn't click it, but then later converted. So those are the 6 KPIs to track, and now based on you launching them, based on this setup, and you've got all your metrics and KPI, and it seems to be going well, how do you actually scale this fucker? Now, on Hormozy, more, better, new. So as you can see, the ones at the top here, there's basically just doing more of what you're already doing. Then in the middle, you can do stuff better, and then you can test new stuff. Of course, if you're doing really well, increase the budget, because you're still going to be on max conversions. So just increase the budget and be able to go out into more. Again, you can scale infinite amounts on YouTube, just spend as much as possible until you hit that natural CAC ceiling. You can then add in more creatives. So you're always testing more creatives. You're trying to beat or control. You're trying to test the creatives that you're having. You're trying to find winners on that. So that's how you put in more into your ad groups. You're testing more creatives. Then once you've done these two and you found winners, you then want to hook test the winners, because again, you have a forced 5 seconds on in-stream. So you're trying to find the best hooks possible to increase view rate, which is the first thing and the first KPI to like control over. From there, you can go 16:9 on winners. So you can force 16:9 by duplicating it in sequence in Premiere Pro or CapCut or whatever, and then blurring the background. Or if you did film it in 16:9, then you can just edit a 16:9 version of the winners in your ad account to make the placement more efficient. The CPMs will go way lower. One of the winning ads that we have it in shorts, and the CPM is like $17. The horizontal version is like $8, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, go 16:9 on your winners. You also then want to test new offers and CTAs. So this is doing better CTR testing. So if your CTR is lacking, how do you increase the CTR? Then you want to test different conversion mechanisms. This is new conversion mechanisms to increase your conversion rate. And then you want to expand into in-feed right at the end, instead of having like a long 8-minute, 12-minute proper YouTube video, which is actually a long form sales letter for your product based on in-feed with proper thumbnail, proper production, proper editing, all that type of stuff. And to do this, you can just follow traffic scaling. So if you have poor metrics, so pure view rate, poor CTR, no conversions, out of KPI, new customer CPA, just pause it, stop immediately. If you have soft metrics, you have an okay view rate, good CTR, some conversions, KPI-ish and new customer CPA, you can keep the ad going for a little bit, you can keep it in there, but you're really trying to find like a morally obligated to scale ad creative. We have great view rate, great CTR, you have a new customer CPA and KPI, you are morally obligated to spend more money when you have all of your metrics in place. Whether view rate is cracked, whether conversion rate is cracked, this is where you're morally obligated to increase the budget, because it's going to break anyway. You may as well break it as fast as possible. So that's everything that you need to know on how to scale e-commerce brands with YouTube ads. Now I'm going to show you $8,000 a day ad spending case study. So for this case study, we're running 8 ads. One of the ads is over 2 million views. One of them has 1.1 million views, which means these are working. These are in KPI. The rest of them, they're getting up there. This one, 230K in-stream and shorts. This one, just in-stream, over 300K. Not even on shorts. So this is 300K in-stream views. So these are 285,000 people who will watch more than 30 seconds of this ad. Then we've got in the testing ad group, these 3 here, including the horizontal version of this winner and in-stream. And you're basically running like one CBO with then ad groups, seeing which one Google wants to spend the money on. Where you've got like winners, which has your clear winners in there, and it usually gets the most spend. But then you've got testing. If you see in dashboard or in triple whale that one's performing really well, then you can graduate that from the testing ad group to the winning ad group. So I just keep it all within one campaign. So it's 8,000 a day in one campaign. And as I already showed you at the start, these are the results. So 45K spent over the last 7 days. It's around like 6K, 7K a day. Again, we're scaling more into this. And all of these metrics are profitable. All these KPIs are profitable. Now, like you might see like a 1.29x ROAS and you're like, this sucks, but it's profitable for us, right? So 1.29 might be bad for you, but it's good for us. We got paid 5.5K and we paid $45 on a new customer CPA to acquire 1,000 new purchases. That's really great. We're still running on max conversions at 8K a day. We're running mobile, desktop, and TV, and we're testing desktop and TV, but we've always been on mobile. We have optimized targeting turned on. We've done a horizontal of the main winner, as you can see here, and that's just about getting some views now, and it's performing really well. We're scaling from overall campaign new customer performance inside a triple whale. So we're seeing how much profit are we getting based on our COGS, how much money's coming in, how much money's coming out based on the campaign, and is it a new customer CPA which we can tolerate? And it is. And the main metric, as always, is new customer CPA to be first order profitable. So we are first order profitable on a product which people buy every single 30 days. And because we know our LTV is cracked because of our retention system, then we can just keep scaling into this until we hit that natural ceiling where things get to like $50, $55 CPA. That's going to be really bad for us. But we still got a lot of room to scale in these campaigns, and we have a lot of different creatives. These top two up here, we've been running for a very long time. As you can see, 2 million views, 1.1 million views. These ones here, the professionally shot ones, these are all really cracked. These are all doing really well. We're just testing different hooks on these and seeing which ones perform. Clearly, number 4 worked. So we got number 4 horizontal, and then we're adding that into the placements as well. This horizontal one has half the CPM as this one. So we have high hopes in terms of scaling this one into its own 10K a day campaign. So that's how the campaign is structured. This is the landing page. So it's got a 2% conversion rate on YouTube cold traffic. So it's got the above the fold section, all the different products, lab results, FAQs, banners, simple steps, differentiation, social proof, timelines and journeys, all the different research and studies and that type of stuff, community videos, founder story, like massive guarantee as well, comparison table, FAQs, customer reviews, more offers, more other products as well, and then the bottom as well for 11% off. So that's the well-designed page, but a lot of the work is done in the above the fold section here in terms of the benefit bullets, in terms of the pictures that we're using, in terms of high quality stuff in here. There's a lot of opportunities to buy in and actually get educated on this beyond just the ads, and this is why it's converting 2% on cold traffic for this here. And then it's all well and good acquiring 2% of all the people who come through our YouTube ads. That's fine, which is actually really, really good, especially given how many people are coming through our YouTube ads. But it would mean nothing if we didn't actually retain these people as well. So we have an email pop-up to go to the email list. It's not run by us, it's run by the email partner within this brand, and it's got the email pop-up with the welcome flow. For the YouTube traffic over the last 7 days, there were 36K unique visitors with 5.3K email signups. So the pop-up has a 14.7% conversion rate. So out of every 100 people which come in through YouTube and land on the page, 15% of them are coming in, adding themselves to the email list, which is already a massive jump in terms of the email population. We're adding 1,000 new people to the email list every single day. Once they sign up to the email list, they get hit with the welcome flow, which is this one here. And as you can see, it's a really deep one. So you've got 1 email, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 email deep welcome flow. And if they do purchase, then they get hit with the post-purchase flow, which is this one here. If it's a returning customer, it's thank you again. And then there's a free email deep post-purchase flow with a 25-day wait in terms of stocking up and a replenishment email on top of that post-purchase as well. And this is what the welcome flow looks like. Gives them a massive offer right at the top, gets 11% discount, and that's what leads to the 2% conversion rate on cold traffic on YouTube. So that's the case study. That's how everything that we did here. And that's exactly how to scale your e-commerce brand with YouTube ads. If you want us to scale your e-commerce brand with YouTube ads and Google ads and get results like this for your brand, click the link in the description, go to demandcapture.com, book in a call with me immediately, and we'll see if you're a good fit to work with us. I'll audit your Google account, I'll audit your meta funnels, and tell you exactly if there's opportunity for you to scale to $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a day in ad spend, like we do for our clients here at Demand Capture. And if you want to learn more about how to scale top of funnel, new customer ROAS with Google ads for your e-commerce brand, click this video on screen here. I go through in more detail the Google ads funnel that we use for every single one of our e-commerce clients. I'll see you in that video.